Greetings, heaven and earthlings. This is just a quick one from me because I didn't realise I decided to do this until pretty much it happened, but I'm going to initiate, or I have initiated, a synthesised tarot course. I sent out, I did a kind of call out to see who'd be interested by email yesterday, and happily a few people have said they would be interested, so we're going to begin this on December the 1st. So this is just a call out here to say that anyone who's been following my channel or who's interested in joining is welcome to. And so I'll give you a bit more information about what it will entail. I'll just read out the email that I sent out to my regular contacts. So, dear friends, I'm casting a fishing net to see if any of you might be interested in going through a synthesised tarot and meditation reading course with me. I'm envisaging this as having the following key components. Firstly, we broadly use the Franco-Russian Martinist system of tarot attributes, which put the Fool with Shin, Justice in the 8th position, and Force with number 11. Meditations on the Tarot, of course, will be the core text for the majors, but participants can also choose to use the Moebius, Shmakov or Rudnikova Arcana, either as a supplement to the main readings, or in place of, or even in addition to, the MOT Arcana in a given week. This is because I want it to be open and fluid and interesting to people who might be very well versed in MOT, meditation on the tarot, but don't necessarily want to read it fully again, but who feel they might benefit from having an exposition, a further exposition on the Moebius or Shmakov tarots, and so that we can see how they all harmonise together, because they are from the same school, of course. Now, I want to introduce the decad system of the majors, whereby the first 10 arcana are seen as static and sephirotic archetypes, to be paired with those of the second decad, which are the dynamic tourbillons forming the living tarot. The Fool and the World are paired together at the end. This is from the school of Vladimir Shmakov, but it's not necessary to own this book to follow the system, and I can of course help with study materials if anybody is missing them. Using the decad system means we would take 2 linked arcana for each cycle of the course. So for example, the first session will be the Magician with Force, then we'll have the High Priestess with the Hangman, etc. And I think this will also help us move past the instigating force of the Magician, which the Yahoo group, we had a Yahoo group with hundreds of people in it, and famously we never managed to really get past the Magician. Arcana, it was remarked upon a few times that we just seemed to go round in circles on the Magician and didn't necessarily get past that, which is quite funny. I did actually once reflect on why that might have been. I think I even spoke about it on the video, on a video here, because of what it means to move past that point of potential and go on the actual wheel. Anyway, I also sent members a diagram of the Tree of Life I've done, which helped to show how this fits together, and of course anyone else who joins, I'll send that to you too. So I also want to bring in relevant exercises from the Minor Arcana, the Suit of Coins, to help bring some clarity to the exercises, and also as light relief for those who don't want to get overly bogged down in the gravity of the majors. And it's a lot of reading, of course, the majors, so we can grade this. I mean, if we were to do all the reading, it would be a huge amount, and I appreciate that people get busy and they might want to join, but perhaps not dive down into the abyss completely, but maybe do a bit of snorkeling, so to speak. In any case, I can supply texts for each session if anyone is missing the minors themselves. I propose working with either a lunar month or 40-day cycles for each section, whichever is preferable to the majority. At the start of each cycle, I'll send a short meditation and confirm which stage we are at. We'll all go off and read our text from whichever books we choose, then report back with any questions, findings or other impressions, however detailed or superficial these might be, at the end of the session. Now this is a structure based on group work I've done over many years with the Inner Abbey Order, which has always served as well, as it provides a useful framework without being overly prescriptive, and encouraging the totally free sharing of insights. You know, I think it's important to have a structure and this circle that generates ideas. And actually, it was doing a course with the Inner Abbey Order which kind of did prompt me when that came to an end to jump into this tarot this tarot course. Members can choose to report back to the public email group, or if they don't want lots of notifications, they can send their reports to me privately. The meditations are not meant to replace anyone's regular praxis, but are more supplementary for anyone who wants to connect in that way in addition to the tarot study. So of course, this isn't a cult. You have your faith and your practice already, and that's brilliant. This is not supposed to clash with that in any way, but to support it, if anything. So I'd recommend continuing with any established practice that you do have. And if you don't have an established practice, then I can send you meditations that are shown to have value and are kind of part of the corpus of the Inner Abbey work, tried and tested, so to speak, safe meditations from safe people that we trust, and I'll share some of those with you. As in the group work, we want to keep in mind the hermetic principle of resolving binaries and drawing light from darkness in pursuit of a transcendental synthesis above the plane of the poles. So this principle is well known from the philosophers and tarot masters, and was also alluded to from a very different angle by the philosopher of nature Jean Dubuis in his concept of touching Saturn and making contact with eternity. So resolving binaries, resolving antinomies. This is, of course, the work not just of hermits but of mankind. Resolving binaries is the art of living, and false binaries are the source of all conflicts. So it's no small matter, but it's absolutely essential to always bear in mind that we're resolving with the aim of synthesizing, not clashing and conflicting. Hence, having a safe circle where we can express ourselves and not be judgmental, and aim to resolve conflicts, not create them. So with this in mind, we will stay mindful of world events and astrological conditions without being drawn too far into them, and always bearing in mind that the stars incline, they do not compel. That's a phrase that some of you may recognise from meditations on the tarot. It's also a phrase that was shared by Nina Rodnikova. It was a maxim that the St. Petersburg School adhered to. So astrological observations are welcome at any time, as are other kinds of observations to do with folk souls, or whatever you deem relevant, whatever impulse is brought up in you, either directly or indirectly by the work. It might be something that you feel has no connection to the tarot course, but you would be in a state of heightened awareness, and as you go about your day, something might strike you as being relevant or spiritual or connected or resonant, and if you think it's relevant, then it probably is, and you should share it. So nothing is too off the wall. It's all important. And speaking of astrology, I'll note that Saturn has gone direct into Aquarius following a period retrograde in Pisces. So it seems a good moment to jump on the rolling ball. So the idea as well is to reinforce the proverbial chain as we say goodbye to what's been an incredibly challenging year, certainly for me personally and my family, and I suspect for many of you, and certainly the world in general. And we prepare for 2025, described in some theosophical circles as the stage of the forerunner, and the end of the stage of the forerunner. This is coming to an end, and the start of the externalization of the hierarchy. What this might imply, if anything, is open to thought and discussion as well. I'm just really observing that this timeline is baked into the theosophical cosmic worldview. Okay. And finally, I'm not the teacher, only a facilitator. There are plenty of masters, true masters, we can learn from in the book. So I'm just a facilitator to provide a course structure, to get us going, and provide some materials. I'm not the world's most organised person by nature at all. So this is probably a test for me to do something like this. I mean, I can't, I can stick to deadlines, but I'm not necessarily a born organiser, but I will try to keep this ball rolling because I think it's important. And together we can hopefully learn from the real masters. So, okay. So just I ended the email. For a start, I'd like to hear from anybody anyway. It's always good to hear from friends, followers, people who are on the path. I do propose starting on the new moon of December the 1st, and then we've got a lunar cycle, and we can report back on the full moon. And this is also the start of Advent. So, yeah, I thought that would be a good time to start. It gives me loads of work to do between now and December, which is fine. Okay, that's it. So if any of you are up for it, you can leave a comment on this video, and I'll also put my email address into the description so you can contact me directly and jump on board if you're up for it. Okay, see some of you soon, hopefully.